Good afternoon. My name is Javon Rodriguez. Today I'll be giving the presentation on storage. I'll be aided by my aid of reference will be the PowerPoint you see in front of you. Any questions that you have, please wait to the end of the presentation and I'll be happy to answer them in the back of the classroom. With any other things that need to be done, please just wait till then and we'll go continue. So let's start with the first slide. So we have two basic OSs when it comes to the world of technology. You have Windows, which everyone uses on your laptops, anywhere when it comes to work, basically, even in school as well. Kids from second to third grade, that's when they start integrating with the actual laptops. They use Windows, Microsoft Word, and PowerPoint, Paint. They get to play with all that. With that being said, then you have Linux. In my opinion, that's more of a advanced type of OS, because with Linux there's certain things that some people are not privy to, like commands and what you need to use and how to actually go through all that. Now in this slide I'll show you that there are at least 10 similarities that they have with each other. Okay, that's the user accounts. You can add user accounts just like you do in Windows and Linux. You have the Alt tab, which is basically like a bigger task view of what you're trying to see between your both windows. And then obviously the next one will be the task view, where you can see everything that you're doing on both OSs. Next will be virtual desktops. I don't know if some of you have used it or not, but at the very bottom, when you do press the hotkeys, you can see different desktops that you have. So one could be just strictly email, another one can be strictly just surfing the web or school, or however you want to do it. And then after that, you have cross-platform software that are able to do task automation. Then you have Bash and PowerShell. We've used that plenty of times. And then you have the servers and desktops that are being ran in these OSs. And then you have security vulnerabilities. With that being said, security vulnerabilities, with Windows, they have been very vulnerable when it comes to being breaches or attacks, or however you want to categorize it. Linux, even though it's an open source OS, is kind of sort of still a little bit more secure than Windows. And the last thing, they both have 32 and 64-bit versions. Next slide. Now these are the differences. As I explained to you before, Windows is not open source. It's closed source. They have everything, within their own realm. Linux, on the other hand, is open source. That means everybody has privy to their code and can change it however they want to or manipulate it however they want to. But at the same time, you still have a lot of eyes, a lot of minds trying to create something better than what it already is. And then you also have, Windows is costly. Enterprises, they charge astronomical prices. Linux is free. You can download it whenever. When it comes to the kernels, Windows uses the microkernel, and then Linux uses a monolithic kernel. As I said before, when it comes to security, Windows is less secure than Linux, even though it's still closed source, but Linux is open source and is a little bit more secure. When it comes to ethical hacking or any kind of hacking, Windows does not provide much efficiency to that, but Linux does. You're able to do a little bit more when that comes into play. Next slide. Business preferences. Honestly, even though Linux is free, Windows is and will cost a fortune to use in a business. The decision has to be boiled down to user availability and experience. A lot of people use Windows. A lot of people are able to maneuver through all that, whether it be school, job, or even at home. Windows, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and all that is being utilized by Windows, which more people have privy to that. It's like Apple. A lot of people don't use MacBooks, but some people do. But mostly everybody uses a Windows OS. Next slide. Now, storage comparison. You have different storages, but the main ones we're going to talk about here is the storage area network, or SAN, which is sophisticated. Virtual deployments, It uses an enterprise resource management workloads. It removes a single point of failure, which is very important. It's complex and also expensive. Then you have what everybody knows about, which is cloud-based storage, which, if you use Apple, they have the iCloud, which you can store all your backups into it. Excuse me, whether it be text messages, photos, you name it, it's all in there. It's also expensive. Next slide. So the Christian perspective on all this. As you can see in my slide, I explain what I really, really mean. And I'm gonna let you guys read this slide and make your base decision of it, because I can read the slide and I can tell you how I feel about it, but it's not going to change the fact that everyone has their own perspective when it comes to this. Next slide. That is my reference list for the presentation that I've done. If there's no questions, I will see you at the back of the class if you have any questions that you want to talk one-on-one. Thank you again. My name is Siobhan Rodriguez.